Good morning, Abby. What we're doing today, we're starting the process of making this car handle better. So we're starting with a front sway bar, 1.25 inches. Aftermarket, what do they call it? Hillwig. Well, here's our first problem. The RTs come with a skid plate, at least on the big blocks. This little notch sway bar goes through here. I ordered the 1.25 inches, which is bigger. Maybe if we take this tire off, we can swing it around a little more. Our skid plate's in the way. Not all Chargers have skid plates. Come on, baby. I hope you can fit now. That didn't help. Alright, story of my life. Skid plate won't let it slide through. I'm either going to have to cut the welds and bend it down. Here's the directions. And they just show a standard Charger without a skid plate. But there still is a brace, just the skid plate comes over like 2 inches more on each side. Okay, here's what we might do. This has a Hemi oil pan on it. See how it sticks down? Or the HP motor in the 71 had the 7-quart oil pan, and so maybe we'll cut it in the back, bring this down a little more, and it might even help protect that if we bring it down about 1 inch for the low sump. Jimmy Ladera gave us the oil pan off the Hemi Jimmy. Thank you, Jim. Alright, so I'm going to get cutters and cut the weld. I put the sway bar on, 1.25 inches, just took the drive shaft off. Hey, this is 355 posi. Alright, here's story time with Papa Ross. Here's the drive shaft. Alright, that's how it's supposed to look. Here's what we're working on. That's from laying in the dirt or leaning on cement in a shed. So here's the story. In high school, I had 5 Charger RTs. Some of them I parted out. Anyways, I collected a lot of parts. So this drive shaft was in the shed for 30 plus years. And it happened to be a metal shed when we first moved into the house. Way back here. And the sprinklers rusted the side of the shed out and water started getting in. So I had a 71 Charger RT power bulge hood and the drive shaft just leaning on that side of the fence, not thinking anything of it. So then I got the bright idea to put the hood, laying it sideways, set it on cinder blocks. And years later I go out and move the hood, and everywhere it touched the cinder block it rusted and ate into the hood. I guess the lime in the cement eats up metal. And the same similar thing with the drive shaft. I think it was standing straight up and the old wooden floor in the shed rotted out and it was sitting in the dirt, and that's what caused that yoke to get demolished. So that's the shed story. So I'm going to take it to the drive shaft Fleet Pride. I'm sure they're going to be able to cut that off and weld a new yoke on it and rebalance it. So I got the Tesla off the rack, got that project done, getting excited about finishing up some other things and then getting going in the GTO. So we transferred the tag off the green 71 onto this, so it's finally insured. We can start driving it. It handles poorly. I've never been happy with my idle and drivability. It's got a single plane intake on it and an Elderbrock carburetor, and that combination doesn't work well. So guess what? All the good intakes are on back order. The RPM Performer dual plane that I want is on back order. So I wanted to work on my own cars over the holidays and get this one. So we're going to leave the engine tuning and fine tuning and combination stuff for later, but I'm starting on the suspension. So now that it's insured and we can drive it and I'm romping around with it, I'm like, I haven't done a full-blown burnout yet, but as soon as I do, I know that drive shaft's going to drop and going to cause more trouble. So time to fix that. See ya. So started doing some front end work and I'm like, I need some turning plates. I used to have turning plates to do front end work. If it works, it just proves I'm a cheapskate. Maybe if they're metal plates, it'd work better. Set my steering wheel straight. Fire it, make sure the wheel doesn't pulse or turn. Now I'm going to try to set the toe. Alright, we made this adjustable. So without measuring it, we're tight on the front right here, and in the back we have an inch to go. Well, let's get it roughed in up in there where it's easier. So we're 47 inches in the front, 48 inches in the back. So we are towed in an inch. $47 1/4, 47 1/4. So we're tighter in the back than in the front, so we're towed out a little bit. Nice snug fit both ways, so supposedly we're neutral, or we're zero. Alright, let's drop it down on the ground and see how much it moves when it settles. And then set it when it's on the ground after we bounce it. Alright, hey guys, I got my toe set between a 16th and an 1/8 with the tape measure, bigger in the back. So it's going to be towed in slightly, and that's just what I want. I'm okay with the 16th, I'm okay with an 1/8, anywhere in there. This fits tight in the front, and then I just got it just a little bit. So steering wheel's still straight. We're gonna give that a try. See if it handles any better. And I gotta find out how much the caster came up. First step is the 0 camber reading to the floor. I like it. That's a 0. That's the first step. Next step, get on the car straight. Straight up and down. This dial here will put tension on it. Okay, level up and down. We're even on the tangs. I'm just on this lip, on the little soft part, pretty even. So we're on the camber side. Here's 0, here's 1. What do you think? Alright, I'm going with half. Yell real loud if you agree. Next step is to turn it out 15 degrees. Alright, now we zero the gauge on the caster side. 0. Now we turn it in 15 degrees. Say more on the 3 3/4 side. Hey, we got a new tool in the shop. Let me show you. We got the Fast Trax caster camber gauge. And the why we got it is our alignment for the purple Plum Crazy Charger RT was horrible. It handled horribly. So I paid $140 to have it aligned, and it's within specs. The computer says, hey, green's good, so we're great. But I say no, I don't even want my daughter driving it yet. So we got some work to do. I probably showed you, I started with a front sway bar. That didn't do anything. I'm sure, you know, for cornering and handling, we'll notice it, but not just driving straight down the road. And the next step is to raise the caster. Caster gives stability. So 1.2 on the left and 1.0 on the right. That's low. It's within specs, but it's low. So what we're going to do is increase caster. We're going to move the front of the control arm out. And that'll bring our caster up. I could also bring the back of the control arm in, but then we're going to lose some camber. And this 0.6 I actually like. I want half a degree camber. The 0.1 is low. I want to increase that. So we'll see. So the goal is to bring the front of the control arm out. So that's the why. Here's the how. Here's our control arm adjustment for the front. There's one just like it in the back. I believe you call it a concentric. So 12 o'clock, silver dot, straight up. The black dot is how far we moved it. So we started here. Let's say that's about 1 inch. I did evenly the exact same thing on both sides of the car. The reason for that was we have a reference, we have a starting point with the 1.2, 1.0, and whatever that magic inch is, if it's a degree or 2 degrees or 3, I'm okay as long as it raises it evenly. If 1.2 goes to 3.2 and that goes to 3.0, I'm happy with that. If we pick up some camber here, I'm happy with that. If we, you know, it's adjustable. We got room. Now when I took it into them, we had 5.2 positive caster. So I know it's capable in the adjustment of doing it. So that's the why, the how to make the change. I set the I didn't have the Fast Trax when I did everything. That's why I was just going to do it even and see if it helped. I had this order, didn't know how long it'd take to get, and I'm like, well, I'll set the toe and drive it. So you probably saw in an earlier video, I made a toe stick, got the steering wheel perfectly straight, made a toe stick, set the toe, and now we are able to confirm, and the results are, I'm at 3 1/4 caster on the left, and 3 3/4 on the right. I've got a half a degree camber on the left, half a degree on the right. Got my toe set at 1/8. So that's a nice alignment. Now I used to do old school alignments with an old light align, John Bean or Hunter. So the car pulls to the side that has the least caster. So we're at 3 1/4 here and 3 3/4. So if it pulls to the left, that's okay with me. The crown of the road, you normally pull to the right, so you need to offset a little bit to go to the left. So this is my old cheat sheet on my, when I used to do alignments. Very handy on, if it was a GM, they actually, you can calculate how much of a shim for how much of a move. But since it's a Mopar, I didn't know what that inch was going to bring. So it looks like it added 2 degrees. So that's where we're at. We're ready for a test drive, and hopefully it's more stable.